Well, that just ain't gonna work. So, what's up YouTube? My name's Quickie, welcome back to the channel. The van is ready for its MOT. I've even cleaned it. It gets cleaned twice a year if it needs it or not. But yeah, it's all done, it's all ready. It's booked in for its MOT on Saturday morning. Today is Thursday. And this is everything that it failed on, look. See that bit there? That's everything that I've had to fix, and this is something I've got to keep an eye on. Yes, they're right, the tyres are getting a bit skinny and I do need to change them, but they're okay at the moment. So anyway, that's all that lot done. There was one fella who commented, I know why your indicator bulb is looking exactly the same as the new one that you're putting in, and that's because you're changing the wrong side. It failed on the other side, it failed on the off side. But I went round and checked all the bulbs, front and rear, and they all look exactly the same. So I just changed all of them out, and the bit I filmed was changing the near side one. So there you go. But that means he's had to go online, he's had to watch the video, get the registration number, go online, have a look at the MOT thingy, see what it failed on, compare it back to the MOT video, the van video that I did before. And they go, oh no, he's picked the wrong side. Some people have got way too much time on their hands, that's all I'm saying. But anyway, it's all done, it's all ready. I've even given it a clean. It gets a wash twice a year if it needs it or not. So we're all set and good. But that means I've got the rest of today and tomorrow, and I'm back in here on the Saturday. So I can be cracking on with ASBO and get this exhaust sorted. So I want to get all this lot laid out. I want to check that set of headers is still going to fit, because those ones was a little bit short because of my nice chunky frame. But it all needs doing. So that's what I'm doing for the rest of the week. And we'll be chopping you up in a minute. Right, let's, first thing I need to do is to set where the foot pegs are going to go. Right. All right. That's my seat. For now, it's about the right height. And it ain't going to go anywhere because it's on the tabs for the fuel tank, so I can sit on that, that'll be fine. I've had a guess as to where I think. It was a little bit high up here, as to be said. So I'm just using a set of axle stands just to, get an idea. But I reckon they need to go about there, if I'm honest. Somewhere about there. Please don't fall over. Please don't fall over. That would be very bad. Right, okay. So he's on there. Ish. I'm going to be making these clip-on riser jobbies, but I haven't got them at the minute. But I reckon something like that. You will be up here. Well, that's quite comfortable. Your knees tuck in on this bit on the tank anyway. If anything, it is a little bit conservative, and you can scooch down on it if you want to. I reckon we're going something like that. Right, let's get that marked. Easy does it. I hate getting on this because the whole bench wobbles about. So I reckon it's got to be somewhere there. And that probably is quite conservative. Where's my thing? Where is it? So I'll put it away. There we go. I very nearly had to reschedule the appointment for the van on Saturday. I was going through having a clear out, getting rid of all the rubbish and all that sort of stuff, and I threw the ignition key out with the rubbish. Well, it brings it in quite close too, doesn't it? It's not going to be massively different, I don't think. Right, that'll be alright. That'll be fine. Okay, so where's my Sharpie? So we're probably going to be reusing these pegs, just not all the rest of it basically, but if I say the top of it is going to go there, that'll be about right, I think. That will probably be fine. Because I've got quite long legs. I've got quite long legs. So if you've got shorter legs, you're going to come down even further. Yeah, about there I reckon. About there, that'll do. Fine. Right, let's what am I going to do? I'll put the exhaust on and see where it lands. Right, so there's no weight on that at all. That's about as tucked in as it is ever gonna get. Like, ever gonna get. The exhaust is leaning out just a little bit. I've got a piece of 10mm stock just as a spacer between the exhaust and the swing arm. But this is essentially the bike under its own weight at the minute. There is more weight to go onto it. And then you stick a rider on it, and then you start adding a few bumps and whatnot. You know, this is only ever going to go down, and because the exhaust leans out just a little bit, as the swing arm rises, that gap is going to get bigger. So 10mm is about the closest we're ever going to get. So I'm happy with that. This angle sort of follows that angle. I haven't measured it, but it's pretty bloody close, and it's nice and high. You know, it's not going to blow it on the tyre or anything else. And we're going to have a number board that's set in up here. So, you know, that's all fine. And somehow I've got to fill it, I've got to join that bit to that bit using nothing but these, because that's all I've got. The foot peg, if we stick the foot peg on, because someone's going to ask, this is the wrong shape. Basically, that hole needs to be up here and the radius needs to go that way. However, with the foot peg basically where it is like that, the inside edge of the peg I want to be pretty much level with the outside of the exhaust. Just that way you've got sort of clearance for your heel and, you know, all that sort of stuff. I tend to ride on the balls of my feet, if I'm honest. I do see some people riding with, you know, in sort of like the arch of their foot on the peg, but I've always sort of, you know, unless I'm like using the brake or anything like that, which to be fair, I never use the back brake. Well, unless I'm doing a hill start. But other than that, I'm always on the balls of my feet. But if you were to have the arch of your foot on there, it would just move your whole foot further forward, so you get more clearance from the exhaust anyway. So I think that's going to be all right. So somehow I've just got to join that to that using nothing but this, which is going to be a challenge. I think it's going to be a proper challenge. There is probably a way of figuring this out. I don't know it. So I can see this being a bit of guesswork. I think what I'm going to do is mark up on these bends where the bend actually starts. Because that way I know I can trim it straight across where the bend actually starts. I can always use that bit as a spacer should I need to. If I do that on this one, and then we'll have to start whittling this one down and see how far we go. I'm sure it's going to be get down to, because I mean there's no way that that angle and that angle is going to land exactly where I need it to, so we are going to have to be trimming. It's just, which one do I trim? I don't really know. As you look at it from the side, I could make that like pretty, you know, basically dead straight with a curve in it as you look at it from the side. But the thing is, you're never down here looking at it. You're up here looking at it. So there is going to be like a S-bend bit going on here. which there isn't really anything I can do. It would be nice if the collector ran right down here, but that's not practical. Right, we're going to have to do this then. Right, so find out where the bend starts, chop it off so I've just got bends. We can offer that up and see where we go. If that moves forwards or backwards a little bit, we'll just have to compare it to where the foot peg is and sort of go from there, really. Right, straight edge and a Sharpie. Right, this is really annoying. I've had to move the tailpipe back a bit just so I can muck about with these. So, you know, just so I can see how much bend I've got. So literally all I've done is I've found out where the bend starts just by putting a straight edge on it and marking it. I've had it off in the bandsaw. So this is the most amount of bends that I've got in this size tube. The only trouble is, and this bit actually is a little bit more annoying than that bit. If I stick him on there and him on there, we've still got a gap. I haven't got enough bend to get it where I want it to get to, which is really annoying. Really annoying. Oh, that is so annoying. So, what are we going to do? Well, I did have a thought of chopping it off up here and clocking that bit. But then that's going to throw this bit down. It is going to change the angle of that. And even if I did that, I still won't have enough of a bend left to chop up to actually get that together. But then it means I've also got, you know, basically 4 bits of welding here that I've then got to dress up and get all looking nice and everything else. And I also don't want to change the angle that this is kind of vertically. I mean, that's exactly where I want it. That's the angle that I want. It's all as tucked in as I can get it, and I've just got the clearances that I need. I just need more mandrel bend. That is really annoying. I need like that much mandrel bend, and I ain't got it. And I have been grubbing through the scrap pile, and I just haven't got any. So, I have got the other option is I could have that bit of the can off and then clock it, but it's going to change the way that everything sits and lands. So rather than, you know, compromise what I've already got and change the line from the side, I've ordered another mandrel bend. It is on its way. It ain't going to get here for the weekend, so this ain't getting done. But I would rather do that than have multiple more cuts into the exhaust tube and have to re-weld all that lot up and dress it up and have more penetration on the inside so it's not all nice and smooth like that. You know, I would rather just wait and do the job properly. So that's what I'm doing. I bet Ben doesn't have this trouble. Oh, Ben. Right, so Ben Roth. He's a fella I've been watching recently on YouTube. He's another Brit. He's like all coloured in and like big holes in his ears and stuff. Tattoos galore and whatnot, but he's got himself a little channel going, and he started doing the YouTube thing, and he's actually quite cool. He started out doing a Harley, but he binned that off. Well, I don't know if he's binned it off, but he's not doing it anymore. And he's got himself a Bandit 1200, which he's turning into a bit of a Street Fighter type thing. He's going to be changing out all the back end of it, which is quite a standard thing to do, but he's going like big chunky tyres and whatnot. But he's also going to be turboing it, which is dead cool. He does waffle on quite a bit, I'll tell you that now. And I'll tell him as well, because I got told off for waffling when I first started. I'm quite enjoying watching his channel. I will shove a link in. I don't know how many subscribers he's got. It's quite a little channel and stuff. And he's doing it all out of a shed in his back garden. But it is quite entertaining. I like watching that. So if you fancy giving Ben a helping hand and having a look and seeing what he's getting up to, go and check him out. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Anyway, if I'm not doing that, what am I going to do? the Black Widow exhaust system that's been hanging up on the rafters up there. And this is the exhaust system that ASBO was originally dynoed with. He had this link pipe here with the little wish can on the end. That basically went on there and that was it, job's a good one. Thing is, I might be changing my mind about headers. This is a race exhaust, so those headers are 38mm. The stock ones, which is what those started off as, and what I made the collector to, is 35mm. So these is bigger than those. But the other nice thing I like about it is the diameter of these headers is exactly the same as the diameter of my frame. So it just goes, it matches. We come into a collector, the same sort of deal at the bottom. You know, we've got the exhaust springs and everything else just to keep it all together. It is a little bit more in bulk, but then it's got this little kicky up thing going. I'll get a picture from the side of all this in place just so you can see what I'm talking about. It's in board a bit, so you can't really see it as much. And then you get this little link pipe here, which goes on, which way does he go on? He goes on that way, like that. And there's another set of springs that hooks that to that. And then you get the link pipe comes out and goes into the wish can, and it is an awful lot longer than the one that I've got. Curiously enough though, the tube that I'm using on all my exhaust, he just slides over there as well, like that. So I could slot it the same as this one is and use a clamp to join the two things together, which means I could swap out the back bit for either my exhaust or for the link pipe with the wish can on it. And either way I can run the bigger headers. Oh, see, I'm scheming. Right, I want to go with those headers just because they, you know, it all matches. It just looks better. I just need to sort this bit out. So this is essentially a piece of tube that's cut at an angle and welded on cockeyed onto that that collector. So I'm not sure if I was to chop it off there, I could clock that. I could send it wherever I wanted to, or I could put like a little bend in it. So cut it down and have a slip on that goes over top of that. You know, this look like welded to this, and that means I could clock it around this way, and that might help with my troubles back here. I wonder if that's an option. To see what I mean. Like that. Ooh. Ooh, that fits up quite nicely. About like that. That could be a goer. Where would you come out? I need to stick a bit of tube on, don't I? Where's the bit I chopped off? Right, so that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to take this straight piece. I'm going to stick that on there, which essentially is going to replicate that bit. I don't like that this sort of steps in and then comes out again. That's just unnecessary. But what it does mean is I can effectively replace that link pipe with something that I can sort of clock around and sort of change where it comes out, if that makes sense. But if all this lot goes on there, just looking at where this comes out, it's sort of 10mm away from the cross member and 10mm away from the frame. So it pops out here really, really nicely. If I stick a foot peg on where it's going to be, you know, it's going to come in just under it basically. It's going to pop out sort of here. And I'll be able to change it a bit if I want to anyway, but I reckon that's the way to go. So I still need that other mandrel bend because I haven't got enough to get up to the, you know, this bit. because he still needs to go a bit like that, so I'm still, you know, a bit short. But I think it's also less of an angle as well. I don't know, we're just going to have to wait and see. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Ideal. Right. I am really happy that those headers fit. I'm happy I tried them on. Basically, it was, you know, it was kind of like, oh, I can't do that. What else can I do? I have to see if the other exhaust fits, because we wouldn't run that on the dyno. But the fact that it fits and it clears the frame, and I'd completely forgotten it was a different OD, and it was a race system. So you think, well, okay, we'll just use that then. It's going to be better, isn't it? And the fact that that's what it was dynoed with before, you know, we're sort of getting a bit more of a like-for-like comparison. So they are definitely staying. I really like that they're the same size as the frame tubes, but that's just me. Yeah, they just fit. It looks the part. I've still got tomorrow and Saturday, apart from, you know, first thing on Saturday when the van is getting MOT'd. But I've still got a couple of days this week where I can come in and be working on the bike. So you're going to be getting an extra video. I'm sorry there hasn't been a great deal of, you know, work going on in this one, but at least I had a eureka moment. And there's definitely a good one. What I'll do is I'll get that little link pipe made. It'll just be tacked up for now. I mean, that's like a dead quick and simple job. And then when the mandrel bend comes, you know, I'm going to have some straight bits on the end of the mandrel bend that I'm going to need, and, you know, obviously a 90-degree bend that I can chop up, all that sort of stuff. So we should be able to get it all to fit. As far as this goes, I hate that can. I really don't like that can. It's not going to fit this bike. It's probably going to end up on the S-Rad, I would think. I don't know. We'll have to see if it fits. But this isn't going on that. So I need another option for an end can if my exhaust is just too noisy. The reason I say that is this. So this is the collector off the exhaust that I made, but in there is a baffle. Now, this bit is questionable. There was a fellow who chipped in, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name, but he said, basically, I've made a resonating chamber here, and that baffle's going to do bugger all because it's too close to the collector. And he could be right, I don't really know. That's why we was going to test it. However, if it is just a resonating chamber, and it's not going to baffle anything, then my exhaust is going to be just as loud as it would have been had I stuck it on anyway. So, you know, it could have been louder because that's just a resonating chamber in his book. I don't know. So, essentially, my exhaust has now lost one baffle. And to be fair, there is not a, you know, the baffle is like yay much. And it's quite skinny too. It's not a straight through, but, you know, I mean, it's not far off. So this is probably going to be really loud, which would suit ASBO down to a T because of the name. And that's how we earned it in the first place. However, if it is too loud and noisy, I need an option as far as that end can goes. I don't want anything boxy like that. I don't want anything where it suddenly steps out. I'm thinking about, I'll see if I can get a picture and shove it up. But they do like this, it's like I like the shape where it does that, like the S shape. And they do like the MotoGP sort of looking cans. So I might have a look online and see if I can get one with the correct size, you know, to the link pipe, or I might have to do something there to make it fit or something. But at least they're baffled. Yes, they are quite noisy, but I think all the options I'm looking at are quite noisy. But at least it would still suit the bike, and it's that sort of, you know, that's the sort of look. I think they're still, you know, like the welds are still visible and stuff, but yeah, I mean, that could be quite a cool look. I don't know, I'm gonna have to grub about and see what I can find. But anyway, so I am sorry that there hasn't been a huge amount of work on this one. Got bloody helicopters now. We got a marine base not too far from here, so that happens quite a lot. But yeah, there's not been a great deal of work, just because, you know, bit of a eureka moment, and then you start offering stuff up and plans change and you have to just sit down and stare at it and work stuff out and decide which way you're going to go. Ordinarily, that would have all happened on the Tuesday video when I'm doing the update. Well, it didn't this time. You got another one as a bonus. But that is kind of where I'm going with it, I think, because it just all makes sense. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for this one. Thank you ever so much for watching. I do hope you're well and staying safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Laters! Well, hopefully I don't find something else lurking on the shelf and change my mind again, because it just looks better than what I've got at the minute, and then I have to undo all this lot.